In today's video, I'm going to be answering the question, does it matter what I eat as long as I'm in a calorie deficit? There's been a substantial amount of people I've seen in the past couple years who say that calories do not matter and that calories in, calories out is a myth. These same people will tell you to only eat meat or only eat vegetables or only eat fat. As long as you eat high quality foods, you'll stay lean and weight loss will not be an issue. And it's all about insulin, and calories just do not matter. Now, we know from decades of metabolic research that this is just not true. And we also know that a calorie deficit is the only way to lose weight. So whether you're cutting out carbs, you're cutting out fats, you're cutting out protein, you're cutting out vegetables, whatever you're cutting out, just know that whatever you're doing is creating a calorie deficit, and that is why you are losing weight. So what is a calorie deficit? How can I sum this up very quickly in about 5 seconds? A calorie deficit is simply just eating less than your body requires to maintain its current weight. So let's say to maintain my current weight, I need to eat 2,500 calories. If I eat less than that, I will lose weight. If I eat more than that, I will gain weight. If I eat right at that baseline, I will maintain my weight. So while there are people who take this whole foods example and eat only whole foods and claim that processed foods and sugar is the reason why we have an obesity epidemic in this country, there's also people who take it the exact opposite route. You can call them flexible dieters, IIFYM. Some of these people prescribe to the anabolic diet. Now, all of these have been blown out of proportion because the original creators of these diets had good intentions, and it was to help make dieting less restrictive, to help people realize that you don't have to eat the same boring, bland foods in order to lose weight, feel better, maintain a healthy relationship with food, and get stronger in the gym. And you can do this while still enjoying the foods you love, but maybe while tweaking your numbers and playing around with your macros and making different food swaps and making different food choices fit in to restrict your calories in a way that's going to help you lose weight while still enjoying things like pizza, burgers, french fries, stuff that you know is higher in calories and harder to eat while you're in a calorie deficit and maintain fat loss. So what do I recommend? I recommend that you find middle ground. I recommend somewhere in the middle. Like, we don't have to be eating every single meal with low carb tortillas and Walden Farms maple syrup or whatever the hell that stuff is even made of. But we shouldn't be fearing these Franken foods either, because they don't make up the majority of our diet. The majority of our diet is going to come from whole, nutrient dense foods. Lean proteins, vegetables, fruits, these should make up the majority of our diet, while 20% of our nutrition can come from things we enjoy. Pizza, cake, cookies, burgers, whatever it is, right? Less nutrient dense foods and foods that are going to help us mentally stay on the diet long term. This is why I love the 80-20 approach. It works very well for me and my coaching clients. We apply the 80-20 principle, but just saying 80% whole foods and 20% foods you enjoy doesn't really give us a practical example of how that looks, what that looks like. What this looks like on paper is, let's say I was eating 2,000 calories a day. 20% of my nutrition can come from Oreos, and then the rest should be coming from foods that are nutrient dense that are going to help me feel my best. Or you can apply this on a weekly basis as well. 6 days out of the week, you're super dialed, eating mostly whole foods, and then 1 day out of the week, you spend that day eating less nutrient dense foods and kind of let your diet go to the wayside. I don't actually like this second approach, and it's not something I actually recommend to my clients because I find that it leads to binging, it leads to an all or nothing mindset, it leads to having a quote unquote cheat day, and I don't really like that. I would rather my clients have these foods in moderation on a daily basis than having an all-out cheat day once a week. So bottom line, yes, those nutrient dense foods are important. Why? Because we need fiber in our diets for digestion. We need micronutrients in our diet for overall health and function in our bodies. We need whole foods to maintain our energy levels, to optimize our hormones, our sleep. All of these things are so important when it comes to losing fat or just maintaining optimal health long term. So this is why even if you don't like vegetables, you should still eat your fucking vegetables. And if you don't like vegetables, maybe you may be able to get away with it in the short term, not eating vegetables, and maybe you feel fine. But in the long term, it is going to impact your health. And this is why we're doing this whole thing, is long-term thinking, sustainability. What am I going to be feeling like 20, 30, 40 years from now if I don't eat my vegetables today? Just because I get a six-pack and I look super ripped, that doesn't mean that my health is solid. What we are looking for is long-term health. And a six-pack, even though it may look super cool, it's really not that cool when you have health issues issues because you got too lean and you weren't keeping your micronutrient intake high enough. You can look amazing on the outside but have absolutely terrible blood markers and your hormones are all out of whack. So bottom line, yes, the kinds of foods that you eat do matter in a calorie deficit, and you should aim for an 80-20 approach and try to make it as sustainable, as enjoyable, as flexible, and realistic as possible. Because you should be eating the way that makes you feel your best physically, but also in a way that makes you feel your best mentally. So hopefully it was helpful, informative, and educational, and if it was, please hit the like button down below. Please hit the subscribe button, and if you want to apply for coaching, there's more info down in the description, as well as some of my other content, articles, blog, website, all that good stuff. I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.